Hi, my name is Michael and I'm the developer of the Light Manual Muscle Relaxation. It's a massage light muscle recovery system. For recovery, anything else a luxury or not necessary. I work with endurance runners and walkers, and I've worked both in Australia and internationally, and my runs go from 6 hours, 24 hours to running around the world. And because I go and do a lot of travelling, I can't afford to carry much equipment with me, and in the conditions I work in, which are pretty extreme, I have to use special techniques which don't require a lot of technical knowledge or know-how. Light Manual Muscle Relaxation is a 4-in-1 recovery system, and it replaces 4 separate systems normally used in leg maintenance: pre-event for muscle warm-up and stretch, immediate post-event, and the window of opportunity when the muscles are sore but still flexible enough to be assisted with recovery, post-event when the muscle, the window has closed and stiffness is set in and repair process is well underway, and recovery itself. And for the self-supporting tennis player, to be able to use one system to replace those, and when they have to look after themselves at matches that they play in different areas, it can save a lot of weight, a lot of carrying around, and it can give you other advantages we'll discuss in a minute. A tennis match can lead to muscle soreness and stiffness both at the event while it's going on, if it's a multi-day, and also in between matches. And it's at this particular stage where the player is vulnerable to soreness and stiffness issues, and if they don't recover quickly enough or deal with the stiffness, they can lose the edge over their game. Most players do not have an appropriate recovery program. I say an appropriate one because for muscle soreness and stiffness and recovery, when you're actually playing in a tournament, muscle tightness, which is usually felt in tight soleus, gastroc, hamstrings, quads, iliotibial band or tract, they can get you in a lot of trouble when you're on court. And in a long match, muscle tightness is a big killer of players. It can lead to muscle fatigue. One of the reasons it does is because when the calf muscles and rest of the muscles are tight, they make up the motors for a pump that pumps up used blood and fluid and the rubbish connected with playing sport, dynamic movement, back to the body, which then allows fresh blood to be pushed down the legs from the heart through the arteries. And when the used blood is not going out, it's going to prevent fresh blood from going in, and it's fresh blood that takes oxygen to the muscle tissues that helps with recovery. Having no recovery plan can be an issue because having to rely on yourself when you go to a tournament, doesn't matter where it is, you rely on the people at the tournament to assist you with your needs. And the problem is that you don't know how much experience that those assistants may or may not have. And if they're not aware of the problems that the tennis player gets, it can cause big problems and can wreck their game, because when you increase soreness on top of more soreness, you can be disadvantaged, and basically it can extend your recovery time, so your game can be affected. The reasons people just rely on whoever's there and hope they know what they're doing is because they have a lack of knowledge on how to approach recovery. They take no equipment to do it with themselves. They may have no partner to do it with or on, nowhere to work, or consider it too hard and just trust that they're going to recover during the tournament or in between tournaments. Working with ultra endurance people, down through the years, I've had chance to test practically everything that was going, and what I found is that recovery need not be difficult. It needs to take very little time. The approach needn't be complicated, and you don't need equipment or a partner. If you're just using a strap, you can do it yourself courtside if you have a break. You don't need much room to work, or you don't need to disrobe to have oil put on your muscles and legs. This is a recovery area that I worked on when I was at the Montreal 24-hour long distance championships. My work area is this particular area here. I lived and worked off that for a full 24 hours with just the equipment you see there, which is just the chair, and the knowledge I had how to actually recover muscles after sport. How is a faster recovery achieved? By having an understanding of the way the circulation in lower legs works, and adjusting the way of working with the muscles, not on them. It's the working with that makes the difference. And this gentleman here has totally ran himself into the ground, and this gentleman here, half an hour earlier, had to be carried off the track. And what I did was I worked with his muscles and got him back out on the track again, and he finished his run. What is light manual muscle relaxation? It's a tested recovery system, physiologically based, recommended by many endurance running and walking record holders. The benefits of light manual muscle relaxation are: there's no disrobing, no body heat loss, no complicated hand skills needed, no equipment needs to be carried, no massage oil is needed, simple to do, and more importantly, it's light, so there's no contribution to muscle injuries. When the muscles are sore and tight and stiff, it's a bit like the string on a bow, and too much pressure and twang without realizing there are problems and there's an injury being caused to the muscles. And because it's so light, it can be used during a match, at the end of a match, or whenever the legs are in need of a bit of repair work. The way it works is that it breaks into the muscle tightness. Once the muscle tightness is broken and the muscles are relaxed, then it can go back to using the calf muscles to start the changeover in used blood for old, and of course the faster repair. Here's what they say about light manual muscle relaxation. Sandra Brown, she is a world record holder for 16 days 1,000-mile run. The Australian Centurion Race walkers, I look after them every year. Jesper, world runner. Cliff Young, ultra-marathon runner. Light manual muscle relaxation is a safe, simple, effective recovery system for leg soreness and stiffness, and it allows overused legs to recover from their work without interfering with the body's own recovery processes, so that overall performance can be improved by a faster, simpler, non-threatening recovery.